All right, I know I often talk about some of the difficulties you may face while working in corporate America, but I don't want you to get discouraged. There is hope. You can succeed in this environment if you're willing to do what's necessary. And an example of that is Kevin Warren. He's currently the president and CEO of the Bears. He's the first black one in their history. And he has a litany of achievements and awards. He has a stellar career over the years. He was commissioner of the Big Ten. He negotiated landmark deals in that role. He's the COO of the Vikings. He was part of getting them a new stadium, a new practice facility. And he has a long history in the NFL in executive roles. And he started out as a lawyer. He went and got his master's at Arizona State, and then with of business administration. Then he went to Notre Dame Law School, became a lawyer, and he worked at a law firm. And what was essential for him was using his connections and his different roles to enhance his career. And so I think I don't know him personally, but I think in his mind he was thinking long term and how he can leverage certain relationships to put himself in a more advantageous position in the future. And that's how brothers have to start thinking when they're on jobs. I know it can get frustrating when you're not getting the recognition you deserve, but you have to try to, when you come in the door, you have to start thinking long term that this is not your last stop. And then you have to establish relationships while you're there that you can leverage in future opportunities. And looking through his career, I can see that that is what he did. He met some NFL players when he was working at the law firm, and he leveraged that into having his own management company. And some of the NFL players he met, they became his clients. So you have to start thinking like him. And I want you to know that it is possible, even though there's barriers, it is possible to succeed in this environment. And also, in addition to leveraging those relationships, he was just simply better. At every stop he went to, he was better than all his competition. He was better than all his predecessors. And he didn't let his race or whatever perceptions people had of him. He went in there and he outperformed everybody, and he made himself so valuable that it would have been foolish for them to let him go. And that's how you have to start to approach y'all if you want to stay in this environment. Now, if you get tired of the BS and you just want to get out, then you got to find another route. But if you want to stay in this environment, you have to have a mindset of being better. It's like in higher learning, when Lawrence Fishburne's character was talking to Omar Epps' character, he said, "So, Mr. Big Time, you're a big time track star. But what happens if you meet another track star that's even more big time than you? What do you do? Do you go home? Do you quit?" And Omar Epps said, "No." He said, "Well, what do you do? Run faster." You simply have to run faster. You have to be better than all your predecessors, all your current competition. And you have to have the accolades to show that. So your mindset has to be one of not being an employee, not being employed, not having a job, but being irreplaceable. And that is one of the only ways that you can succeed in this corporate environment. Now, don't get it twisted. He was in sports leagues and on in law firms, but all that is corporate. I mean, the entire world is a corporate space right now. I mean, countries are ran by corporations anyway, so every country in itself is a corporation. So when I say corporate America, it is the entire globe. It's all businesses, all countries are run in a corporate structure. So when you get into that structure, you have to make yourself irreplaceable. And it's crazy because, we call ourselves kings, but we're constantly comparing ourselves to others. We're constantly making their standards the basis for our standards. We say, "Oh, well, white people get away with that," or "this race gets away with that." But if you truly a king, you can't measure your standards by the standards of commoners. If you truly believe you're a king, you have to hold yourself to a higher standard because you belong in a higher standard. That's what kings do. If you want to be royalty, if you want to be treated like royalty, you have to conduct yourself as such. You can't be constantly trying to make comparisons to others when you call yourself a king. A king has to move in a royal fashion, in a dignified fashion. He holds himself to a higher standard than those around him. So if you truly think you're a king, you have to conduct yourself as such. You have to be better. And we shouldn't have the same standards as everyone else. We really, I mean, that's what all this is about is people, that's what, I guess you could say discrimination, don't say that, unjust treatment is about. They're waiting for us to hold ourselves to that standard. They're like, how are we able to just, disenfranchise these people like this? They're better than us. That's why we have to do it. So when you allow those forces to invade your thoughts and you start to think that you're not a king, that you're not capable of things, then you're playing right into their hands.